The days are getting longer, the sun is shining just a little bit brighter, and something about this time of year just really makes me want to refresh my home. I'm sure you probably have had the spring cleaning itch as well. So if you feel that same urge to clear out the clutter, go through your stuff, get rid of things you don't need, get into those corners and crannies and just clean, today's episode is for you. We're going to go through 10 areas in your home that must be decluttered this spring so that you can create a space that feels lighter for you and your family, calmer and easier to manage throughout this next coming season. So whether you're sipping coffee, you're folding laundry, or maybe you're washing dishes right now, let's chat about simplifying your home one step at a time. Hey friend, welcome to Modern Homemaker Mom. Feeling stuck in the chaos? Do you find yourself in survival mode juggling all the things? If you're ready to regain control of your home, schedule, and time for yourself, you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Jynae, a wife, mom, and homemaker who turned my household chaos into purpose with simple, flexible routines. I'm here to help you create a cozy, clutter-free home and reclaim your time for what matters most. In this podcast, you'll find episodes around home routines, cycle syncing, and self-care practices so that you can eliminate the overwhelm and create a home that you love. Go grab that laundry basket and let's get started. Before we jump in, I just wanted to quickly invite you to subscribe to the Homemaker's Journal, which is a weekly email newsletter that I send out once a week to all of my subscribers. It's not spam. You can actually think of it as a handwritten letter from a friend. I kind of like to give it this old-fashioned spin. You know how they used to get letters in the mail like once or twice a month from their family because they weren't living close, and way of communication back then was through a letter. So I like to kind of think of this in the same aspect. This is a letter from me, one that you can look forward to reading every single week over a fresh cup of coffee. Each week in these emails, I'm sharing simple encouragement, practical homemaking tips, and then also easy steps to help you create a more peaceful, well-run home that I know that you really desire. So don't worry, this isn't spam. Like I said, no spam involved, no fluff, just real super helpful advice from me to you. You can sign up using the link below in the show notes if you are interested in joining. Okay, so let's talk about decluttering for a minute. So when I say that I loved decluttering and always have, I mean it. Even when I was a little kid, I'm the oldest of 6 children, so I have 5 younger siblings. At the time when I was, younger than 10 years old, I only had 3 younger siblings, but I literally would run around the house and I would clean, I would organize their toys, I would put away their clothes for them. Not all the time, but it's just something that I did in my spare time because it just brought me this sense of satisfaction and I absolutely loved it. And growing up, it never went away. I have always been like that, and now that I have my own home, I really do find this great satisfaction in decluttering and just keeping my home in order. And so when spring rolls around each season, when the birds start singing, the sun shines just a little bit longer. Here in the Okanagan in BC, where we live right now, winter is just so dark and gray and gloomy. And then when the sun starts shining and the birds come back, it's like this new life is starting. It's emerging from everywhere that I look. And at this time of the year, I always get this super deep urge and desire to really freshen up my home. It's just this natural feeling. There's something about the spring season that makes decluttering feel so good. Going through my things, donating what I don't need anymore and no longer use, and then just making that extra space in my home. For me, it's like pressing a reset button. And honestly, I believe that less is more, having that less is more mindset is key to creating a home that feels super peaceful and easy to manage, because when you have less, it just makes life easier. So less clutter means less to clean, less to organize, and less to work around. And ultimately, it saves you so much time when you have less in your home. So today I'm going to help you clear out some of that stuff that's taking up space in your home and probably in your mind too. Okay, so the first key area we're going to talk about where you need to be decluttering this spring, and honestly, I think it's a really good idea to consider decluttering all 10 of these areas as each season changes into the next. So from spring to summer, from summer to fall, it's just really good to visit these areas and see what you need and what you don't need, and then declutter. So the first area is clothes and shoes. If you haven't worn, this is the question I like to ask myself, is if I haven't worn this in the past year, it's probably time to let it go. I open up my closet all the time and I can see a bunch of shirts maybe and sweaters and maybe even some dresses right in front of me. And if I'm seeing, when I go and do this task, when I go to declutter my closet, specifically my clothes, and I'm seeing clothes where I'm like, I don't remember the last time I wore that shirt, that's probably an item that can go in a bag to be donated. I think it's really good to be honest with yourself here, because I think it's actually sometimes can be harder to let things go than it is to just keep holding on to it. But I think you need to ask yourself, do I actually like wearing this? Something that I do to myself is I'll pick up a shirt and I'll look at it and I'll imagine how I feel or what I imagine myself to look when I wear that shirt. And if I feel like, okay, when I wear that shirt, I feel super frumpy, or I wore that shirt when I was sick one too many times. And so every time I wear that shirt now, I feel like it just reminds me of that time that I was sick. So maybe that's something for you that you could be asking yourself is, how does this shirt make me feel? How do these pants make me feel? What about these shoes? Do I even wear these shoes? These are all good things to ask yourself. And then it really helps you to realize, am I holding on to this because I actually need it and use it often and wear it often? Or am I just keeping it just to keep it? If you're just keeping it to keep it, that's probably a good thing to let go. So remember, you can donate, you can sell, or you can repurpose anything that no longer serves you. Okay, the second area you're going to declutter and sort through this spring are your children's toys. Honestly, kids outgrow toys very, very quickly, and having too many choices can be overwhelming, not just for your kids, but for you as well. You're going to hear me say this a lot, but I'm really always going to be encouraging you to simplify the most and the best way that you can, because less is more, like I talked about earlier, less is more here. Your kids don't need as many toys as you think they do. When I think back to when I was a child with my younger siblings, we spent hours and hours and hours playing outside with things like mud and rocks, making mud pies and things that really weren't even toys. We just used our imagination and we played for hours using very, very minimal toys. Yes, we had our Legos and our baby dolls and a certain collection of toys. Yes, we did have toys, but we didn't have this mountain, this endless supply of toys. You would have never walked into our home and seen toys everywhere. That wasn't the home that we had. My mom always kept us having a limited amount of toys, and we never felt, as children, we never felt like there was a lack there. We always felt like we had what we needed, enough to use our imaginations and play for hours. So don't worry about your kids running out of things to do because you're minimizing the amount of toys that they have. Honestly, I think kids have amazing imaginations that they can use if you let them use it, because sometimes kids actually just need that time to be bored or time to be able to make their minds work, to imagine up a game when they don't have so much, like I said, so many choices to decide from. I think another great practice to implement with toys is rotating through toys. I do this with my daughter. She's almost a year old, and she has a very small collection of toys right now. But I will have one specific basket of toys out for her that she can play with during the day. She also plays with random kitchen items and random things that I give to her. But as far as toys go, she has one basket that's out in the living room for her to play with. Her other toys I keep in baskets organized in her closet. And I just rotate out new toys, every once, maybe every 2 weeks, to keep it interesting for her, because I think kids get really bored of their toys when they just have access to them all the time. Whereas if you rotate through them and you hide some away when you keep some out, when you rotate it and you take those toys out that were away in the closet maybe, and then the toys that were out you put away for a while, all of a sudden it's like a brand new toy came into the room. Okay, the third area of your home that you're going to declutter are your books. Only keep the books that you love and you reach for often. I also like to think of it as, would I read this book again? Or was this oh yeah, that was a good book to read once, but I probably wouldn't read it again? That would be a good indication that you really don't need to hold on to that book anymore. If you're keeping books just in case you might read them someday, you should really ask yourself if it's actually adding value to your life by keeping that book on the bookshelf just collecting dust. The fourth area we're going to declutter this spring are your kitchen cupboards, specifically your mugs, your cutlery, any gadgets you kind of gathered over the winter. How many mugs does a person really need? So many times I've been in people's homes and they open up the mug cupboard to, I don't know, make me a coffee or make themselves a coffee, and it's like, oh my goodness, we are bursting at the seams. I think like it's so easy to just get a mug as a gift. Like so many people give mugs as gift. It's like, oh, here's this customized, you're the best mom of the in the world mug, and happy Hanukkah mug. And like, do you really need all those mugs? Probably not. So go through your mugs, go through your cupboards, only keep the ones that are your favorites, and then donate the rest. If you have gadgets that you never use, pass them along to someone who will. Or like I said, donate. Donating, honestly, is not a terrible thing. It's good to get rid of things in your drawers, in your cupboards that you don't need. I think it's also easy to collect things and all of a sudden realize, oh, I have 2 of this certain thing. Like I have 2 spatulas that I really don't need, or I have 2 bottle openers from, I don't even know where this other one came from. Like, do you need 2 or could you just get away with 1? Okay, the fifth area we're going to declutter are your fridge and your pantry. Just go through them, toss out expired food, spices you never use, maybe just food in general that you don't use. I think it's really easy, especially in our fridges, to have those sauces and those dips and those things that somehow make their way to the back of our fridge. And then before you know it, you forgot that it was even there. And then months later, it's fuzzy with mold and you're definitely, obviously, not going to eat it. Throw that stuff out, clean up your fridge, clean up your pantry. It's going to make things feel so much more fresh and clean. The sixth area you can declutter are holiday and seasonal decor. If you haven't used it in 2 years, it's probably time to let it go. You're probably noticing a theme here. If you're not using something, I'm encouraging you to let it go. I think we just, as a society, we just hold on to too much. We don't get rid of things because we think we might need it someday, but how often do we actually use it? Instead, it just takes up space in our storage areas, in our closets, in our crawl space, under the stairs. Like, we really don't need to hold on to the things that we think we need to. I think it's really important to just hold on to the things that you're really reaching for often, the things that you're going to. Even if it's once or twice a year and you're using it once or twice a year, that's enough. But if you're not using it even once a year, you probably don't need it. The seventh area we're decluttering are the toiletries in your bathroom. Get rid of expired products again and half-used bottles that you never reach for. I sometimes, I will use shampoo and then halfway through using that bottle, I will buy another shampoo bottle because maybe the one I was using wasn't really working in my hair and I want to try something else. So then that half-used bottle will get thrown in the back of the cupboard and like I never reach for it. It's like, okay, either A, don't waste and use the whole bottle, or B, if I'm not going to use it, throw it out. Again, there's no reason to hold on to something that is no longer serving you. Keep those things in your bathroom that you're reaching for often, easily accessible, and then store the extras in a designated space. I have a bin in our little storage, I don't know, it's not a closet, but it's not like it's a huge cupboard, so I don't even know what you want to call it. I guess just a cupboard. I have this bin that's in there and it's full of extra toothpaste, extra shampoo, extra, I don't know, toilet paper, all that kind of stuff. It all goes in there and it's my overstock bin, I call it. And then when I need it, I get my stool and I stand on the stool and I grab the thing. But everything that I'm reaching for frequently, like on a daily, weekly basis, it's underneath the sink. It's in the drawers that are easy to access. Okay, the eighth area we're decluttering this spring is your linen closet. This is something that I'm personally definitely diving into. Maybe even this week, it's on my list of spring cleaning to do specifically because I don't have a linen closet. We have a large closet in our bedroom. So up on the shelf is where I keep all of our extra bedding, our extra blankets, our extra pillowcases, fitted sheets in general. Like that's where I keep it all. And we have a queen size bed and I literally only use 1 to 2 different sets of sheets. Like I wash them, I'll switch them out. But in our closet, I have like a bin that's full of random sheets that honestly we never use. So it's like, okay, why am I holding on to these sheets that I'm never using? Because my husband doesn't like these ones because they're too soft and too warm and he sleeps too warm. So he wants the nice cool cotton sheets. And so just ask yourself, like, again, am I using this often? Am I reaching for this often? No. Well, why am I keeping literally a whole shelf a huge long shelf. It's like 8 feet long, full of bedding that we really never use. So I'm going to go through our closet and get rid of that stuff that we're not using because it's not serving us anymore. Okay, the 9th thing that you're going to declutter this spring is your paper clutter. Go through the old mail, the bills, the paperwork, shred or recycle what you don't need. Honestly, like in this day and age, we get like the majority of our stuff is electronic, so I actually don't really have a ton of paper clutter, but lots of people do. Like some people, like it's just a huge pain point. They have so much paper clutter in their home. Digitize as much as you can and have it sent to your email whenever possible. I think it's just a great way to simplify the amount of stuff that's coming in your home to just not get so many bills coming in the mail. And then set up like a super simple system to prevent paper from piling up again and again, like stacking it all on your table. That's not going to work. Maybe have a certain file folder in your filing cabinet where you can put all of the things that are categorized in a way that would make sense to you and your household. And then the 10th and the last thing that you're going to declutter this spring is your hobby and craft supplies. I mean, this is obviously going to depend if you have a hobby, but most of us do, especially like think of sewing or painting or just crafting in general, like anything like that. Keep only the supplies for your hobbies that you're actually doing and plan to continue doing over, the next course of your life. Like I have in the past, I had a soap and candle making business, so I have all of the supplies and materials for making soap and candles. If I was like, okay, like that season of my life is done, I'm not going to be making soap and candles anymore, it would be a good idea to get rid of that stuff. But for me, I still make that stuff quite frequently, like a couple times a year, handful of times a year, depending on the time of year. Like we make candles more in the winter, and then soap is great for whenever we need it. So I'm going to hold on to that stuff because I'm still using it. But if I wasn't using it, like I said, I would get rid of that stuff because what's the point of letting it take up space if I'm not planning on going back and using it anymore? Maybe you have unfinished projects that you haven't touched in months. Like, be honest with yourself. Are you really going to go back and finish them? Like, maybe you started last winter. Maybe you started this sewing project or knitting project and you got frustrated with it halfway and you threw it in the bin. You said you take care of it later. Well, are you going to take care of it later? If you're not, probably let's just get rid of it. Okay, so in case you missed it, I'm going to go over and recap the 10 areas we talked about decluttering this spring. So area number 1 was your clothes and your shoes. Number 2 was your children's toys. 3 were your books. 4 is your kitchen cupboard, specifically taking a look at your mugs, your cutlery, and any little kitchen gadgets that you may have gathered over the last coming months. Number 5 is your pantry and your fridge. Toss out that expired food. Number 6 is holiday and seasonal decor. Number 7 was bathroom and toiletries. Number 8 was your linen closet, thinking of bed sheets, towels, that kind of thing. Number 9 is your paper clutter. And then number 10 was your hobby and craft supplies. So the homework that I want to give to you is just a simple challenge. I just want you to pick one area from this list I just mentioned, the one area that feels the most cluttered. I want you to tackle it this week. Set a 15-minute timer and just start sorting. You don't have to do it all at once. Maybe it starts getting overwhelming or you really just don't have the time. Just stick to that 15-minute timer and sort into those piles. Keep, donate, and trash. Just start. I think the biggest thing is to just start. And then once you've started, once you've made progress, celebrate that small win. That small win, that little achievement, it's going to be there to help make you feel like you can keep going and make you want to keep going, because that's how a decluttered home happens. It happens one small step at a time. It's not about happening overnight and just getting it all done at once. It's about one small step at a time. So if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit the follow button at the top of your screen on this podcast so that you never miss a new episode. That way, when each week a new fresh episode comes out of homemaking tips and encouragement, it'll be right there waiting for you. I'm so glad that you were here today and you tune in to me listening. I can't wait to chat again next time. Before you go, if this podcast has encouraged or helped you in any way, the best way that you can show your support is by subscribing to the show and leaving a written 5-star review. Your words truly make my day and remind me why I love sharing here. You can also snap a screenshot of this episode and share it with a friend or post it to your Instagram stories. Make sure to tag me at Her Stable Home. Thanks so much for listening, friend. I will see you next time.